Hello and welcome to eLagaan Whiteboard Friday. I'm Aditya. I'm here to help you take a look at the subsidiary, setting up a subsidiary in India. You have two incorporation options when we talk of subsidiary. Number one is a private limited company. Number two is limited liability partnership. What is the difference between the two? Number one is look at the branding. In case of a private limited company, it is a more recognized form of entity because it has been in operation since nearly 50 to 60 years. In case of an LLP, it is a fairly new type of entity and it has been in operation since about 10 to 12 years only. So the laws and the surrounding environment would be more conducive towards a private limited company, and that is perhaps the default uh, mode for incorporating a subsidiary. Having said that, the other aspects that we need to look at in respect of the two types of options are the repatriation modes. For a private limited company, we need to repatriate profits by way of dividends. When we do so, the law has changed in India effective 1st April 2020, wherein the company which is receiving the dividend, meaning the holding company, will get taxed at the rate as per the Indian tax or the DTAA, whichever is lower. In case of, say, an American holding company receiving dividends from India, the American holding company will typically be taxed at 15%, being the DTAA rate between India and USA. If you look at American holding company holding a limited liability partnership, the share of profit that it is getting from the LLP will typically not be taxed at all in India, and the American holding company will have to pay tax on the amount it receives as per the US tax laws. So you can clearly see here that a dividend is taxed as per the DTAA rates, and that tax also is available as an input for the American entity. For the limited liability partnership, it is easy to repatriate profits, the share of profits at no additional cost because there is no tax in India. The reason for no tax in India is that the LLP would already have paid the taxes. So on subsequent distribution of share of profit, the Indian Income Tax Act gives you a exemption. The third aspect is that in respect of both entities, they need to have a resident individual as a director or a partner of the company or the LLP respectively. This is a mandatory requirement as per the laws. Both entities will need to have adherence to FEMA laws. FEMA is Foreign Exchange Management Act, and if you want to fund an LLP or if you want to fund a company by infusing equity, you will have to adhere to these laws. These laws are not restrictions, but they are a form of a notification to the RBI as to how much foreign investment has come into the country. So no prior approval is required in most sectors. Typically manufacturing, technology sectors require no prior approval. It is 100% on automatic route, as it is called. No prior approval is required. But post infusion of funds, you will need to do certain reporting to the RBI in respect of LLP or in respect of companies in both cases. You need to also look at the reporting period that applies for a subsidiary in India. In India, the reporting period is April to March, whether you're an LLP or a company. And you will typically need to consolidate your subsidiaries financials with your holding company financials. You will have to look at the Ind AS which applies in India and perhaps marry it with your Ind AS or IFRS or US GAAP that applies in any other part of the world. So that merging or consolidation of financials is an important exercise that you will anyway need to take up. Another important aspect to look into is the tax aspect. A company will typically have a tax of 25.16%, whereas an LLP will have a tax of 30% approximately. This is something which you will have to factor. So these are the various differences between a company and a LLP. As mentioned earlier, to summarize, you need to look at the branding where a private limited company scores. You need to look at tax aspects where a private limited company scores. If you look at ease of repatriation of profits, a private limited company has a drawback in that there is a certain amount of tax to be paid on the dividends. There will also be withholding tax to be paid by the subsidiary when it sends dividends to its holding company, whereas that will not be the case in respect of a LLP when it is giving the share of profits to the partners. But you will also need to look at branding wherein a private limited company scores, because it has a lot of recognition amongst bankers, amongst customers, amongst government, and there is a certain ease of doing business in respect of a private limited company. Why would you want to incorporate a subsidiary in India? I can think of two reasons. One, you want to set up a cost center. Two, you want to set up a profit center. What is the difference between the two, you may ask? A cost center typically houses all your costs. The costs of employment, salary, rentals, the gratuity payments that you have to pay to your employees. These are typically the costs that you would incur in order to perform certain functions. Those functions would be typically to develop an R&D, to further enhance your R&D, to maintain or protect your R&D, or perhaps some sort of support costs in respect of having a BPO or having certain functions which are outsourced to India, so that the main functions can be performed, the client-facing functions can be performed in any other part of the globe. So that would typically be a cost center which has a limited risk, which has certain functions associated with it, and which has a margin associated with such functions. What is a profit center? In a profit center, a billing will happen to the third party directly. The client-facing personnel will be sitting in the profit center. The risk associated with the profit center is typically a lot higher, because if something goes wrong, the clients will come and look to catch the profit center and ask the profit center to remedy for the damages caused, if any. So why is it important to distinguish between a cost center and a profit center is what do you want to do. If you just want a plain vanilla operations to be housed in India, you can definitely set up a cost center. And if you want active billing to happen from India, you should set up a profit center. In terms of setup, the main difference will be about the margins that you're going to fix. In respect of cost center, you will have lesser margins. In respect of profit centers, you will definitely have more margins. This is the basic difference between having a cost center and a profit center. Transfer pricing. When I'm billing to my holding company for services rendered to the holding company, what is the price I should fix? This price typically is dependent on the cost I'm going to incur, plus a certain margin, especially if I'm a cost center. The functions are defined, the risks are defined, and the costs are pretty much known. The only thing that we need to know is what percentage of profits are being made by similar companies engaged in similar businesses but servicing unrelated entities. That is the benchmark which is needed in order to determine the price. This price determination is called a benchmarking process, wherein typically we look at the database, we look at the margins earned by unrelated entities in respect of similar functions being performed as the cost center that we are evaluating, and based on that we determine the price. That is typically how it is done, and I would say that the range of our cost plus margin goes from 15% to 25%. 15% in respect of lower end support functions, and 20 up to 25% in respect of high end R&D functions. So that is typically how a price is determined. In this spectrum it is to be determined. So this is how transfer pricing works. and it is important to undertake a benchmarking exercise prior to actually setting up transactions with your parent entity. So this is in brief about the process of the options available for incorporating a subsidiary, the pros and cons between a private limited company and an LLP, and the differences between a cost center, a profit center, and also a little bit about transfer pricing. This, I hope, helps you in your endeavor to set up a subsidiary. And for any queries, please do reach us at hello@eLagaan.com. Thank you.